So the Discovery merger has been complete. Warner Brothers and Discovery combined. Well, obviously, what I mean is Discovery now has acquired Warner Media, Warner Brothers from AT&T. I mean, if you want to find out the technicalities, this is in the channel. I'm not an expert in this kind of stuff. I'm more going to talk about how does this affect the hashtag restore the Snyderverse. Will this restore the Snyderverse or will this end it? Because there are two options there that I think are a giant possibility. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to break that down. But I will admit I am not an expert on mergers, on company mergers. I'm not an expert on all that. I'm just a fan. I'm just a Zack Snyder fan who's going to commentate on all this. So please let me know in the comment sections what do you think about this. But anyways, we have here an article from Variety. Now, this happened on Friday. I know I'm a little late to the party, but I want to make a video because it is important to discuss this. But Discovery closes acquisition of AT&T's Warner Media. There's even this image that Discovery posted. Warner Bros. Discovery. Now, previously, Warner Bros. Was owned by AT&T. AT&T seemed like they couldn't handle the pressure, so they allowed Discovery. Now, Discovery will have the creative freedom to do whatever they want, which I'll tell you why I'm excited about that, but we're going to read only a little bit. It says Discovery completed its acquisition of Warner Media from AT&T on Friday. The close of the transaction births new company, Warner Bros. Discovery, which will begin trading on the NASDAQ Monday under the new ticker symbol WBD, which stands for Warner Bros. Discovery. Warner Media owns HBO, HBO Max, CNN, Warner Brothers, DC Films, New Line Cinema, TBS, TNT, True TV, Cartoon Network / Adult Swim, Turner Sports, and Rooster Teeth, among other brands, and is part owner of the CW network along with Paramount. Discovery is the parent of Discovery Plus, Discovery Channel, HGTV, Food Network, TLC, Investigation Discovery, Travel Channel, Turbo Velocity, Animal Planet, Science Channel, and own Oprah Winfrey Network. At close, at the Warner Media spinoff, AT&T had said it expected to recap $43 billion, and the new Warner Bros. Discovery to assume up to approximately $43 billion of additional debt. AT&T aimed to use the proceeds from the Warner Media spinoff to pay down net debt, which stood at $156 billion at the end of 2021. Now, I'm not going to read all of it, but you already know. Warner Brothers is now in the possession of Discovery. Warner Bros. Discovery, that's the main thing. All right? That's what we know right now. Now, things aren't going to change day one. Now, you guys know I've been a big advocate for the Snyder Cut, the Snyderverse. I've been saying from the beginning, hashtag restore Snyderverse. I know there's been idiots out there on social media claiming that I betrayed the Snyder fandom just because I call out toxicity. I call it toxicity because I care about the fandom. But realistically, look, we have to remember, as DC fans, as Zack Snyder fans, as fans of these franchises, we have to understand that Discovery isn't gonna make major changes day one. Now, we've already seen a lot of major players in Warner Bros. Already leave, including Ann Sarnoff, who right after the Snyder Cut came out said this was a cul-de-sac. She directly said we are not continuing, and she even said this is the end of the Zack Snyder DC trilogy. And that got a lot of people upset, including me. I made a video on it. But will this cause the Snyderverse to be restored? Now, we have to understand, we have to be patient. We have to understand that Discovery isn't just dealing with DC. They're dealing with what we just read off. It's Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, CNN, all this stuff. And not only that, but Discovery also has their stuff. Now, I'm about to tell you why I'm personally excited for Discovery. First of all, AT&T is a phone company. They're a phone company. They have no business in Hollywood. They don't know the first thing about business, all right? Let's be honest about that. They do not know about this kind of business. So to me, Discovery, somebody who, because one of the problems with Warner Bros. Has always been that they fear that they don't have a plan, that they don't, it's like Warner Bros. In the last couple of years has been in such weird disarray, including their DC film lineup, where it seems like they put their faith in one thing, then one slip up, they mess up, then they completely rechange stuff. It's like they're panicking. They panic real quick. They look at one result and think, you know what, we got to hit the reset button, which the reality is that you shouldn't be doing that. Now, if there's multiple failures, then yeah, reset button. But if it's just one failure, two failures, and that's it, you do not hit the reset button. You continue moving forward, maybe fix a couple of things, but that's about it. And the reason why I'm excited for Discovery is because Discovery is well known for giving their their creators freedom. They're given freedom. They're allowed to do what they want to, and that's something that I'm excited to see happen. And again, we also have to remember Discovery is actually an expert in this kind of stuff. They run a channel. They even have their own streaming service. They know what they're doing, while AT&T really didn't. Now, again, I'm not an expert. The reason why I'm only talking about the Snyderverse is because that's the only thing I can talk about when it comes to this merger. I know a lot of people are examining the merger, seeing if it's a good choice, bad choice, whatever. I'm only going to examine the Snyderverse stuff. Now, do I think Snyderverse will be restored within the next couple of weeks? No. I do think that they're going to have to take their time. They're going to take a little bit of time. They're going to take months, maybe a year, maybe years. For all we know, maybe in 4 years, the Snyderverse, they announce Justice League Part 2. If I was at Discovery, I would actually take things slow, which is release the Ayer cut. Like, genuinely just release David Ayer's cut of Suicide Squad. Because that's the easiest one they can do. It's a movie that's been filmed, it was edited. We know this movie exists. Just put it out on HBO Max, have a couple months of promotion, say, hey everyone, we have this new version of Suicide Squad. It's going to be exclusively on streaming. And alongside it, you can say, this is from the creators of Zack Snyder's Justice League, which really isn't. Yes, Zack Snyder produced it, but you can still use that. You can be like, hey guys, if you love Zack Snyder's Justice League, we also have this other director's cut with David Ayer's Suicide Squad. That's what they realistically should do. I think it will get some people. I don't think David Ayer's Suicide Squad will get major boosts. Definitely I'm going to be there day one. I'm obviously going to watch day one because I've always wanted to see what David Ayer's Suicide Squad would have looked like. They should do that. It's much simpler. It's the easier. Don't just, here's the thing. A lot of people assume that they're just going to restore it like day one, which I remember I even had a message from someone telling me, hey, why haven't they announced anything about Snyderverse? They're not going to do that because when you're running a company as big as Warner Bros. And Discovery, that's going to take time. That's going to take time to process. Now, do I think there's a likely chance of Snyderverse being restored? Yeah. I don't see why not. And I think The Flash, I know a lot of people use the Flash movie as an example that they're going to kill off the Snyderverse. I actually think the opposite. I think they're going to use the Flash movie to say that the Snyderverse is still a possibility. Especially when we saw the Reddit leaks, it seems like that's the route they're going. They want to build their own universe and then also do the Snyder stuff. I don't see why not. Now, I understand you probably don't want 4-hour long R-rated movies in theaters. Let's be honest, that's not the best idea. They're probably going to have to tell. Although I honestly think that the reason why Justice League was long which is, by the way, my favorite movie of all time. I do believe the reason why it was long is because they were introducing many, 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 many characters in that film. So it did require a much longer runtime than the average comic book flick. But I do think if the Snyderverse gets restored, and that's a big if, I'm going to be supporting it day one. Just look at right there. A lot of people call me a fake Snyder fan. And the people who call me fake Snyder fans are, of course, a special kind of stupid. Look, the reality is I don't think they're just going to outright announce it. I do think they're going to take a time period where they're just going to think about it, process it, have conversations, because Discovery's also going to want to know what DC Films is doing, what their process is, what their idea is, which they probably already know. I feel like Discovery probably did communicate. I know they're not allowed to before the merger, but I do think Discovery at least had their conversations. Maybe they're seeing, hey, should we fire this person? Should we hire somebody else? I don't know. You already saw a lot of people leaving. Of course, Ann Sarnoff being one of the major players. Toby Emmerich's still there, which I know that's controversial in and of itself. But hey, there's some puzzles being removed. There's some pieces to the puzzle being removed to replace the new ones. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not good with metaphors. But if they are to restore it, I do think they're gonna be slow about it. They're not just gonna completely say, "Hey guys, we're brought back Zack Snyder. We're gonna have each movie lined up. Justice League Part 1, Part 2 comes out next year. Part 3 comes out the next year. Ben Affleck's Batman." I don't think that's what they're gonna do. What I think will happen if they restore the Snyders is they'll take their time, announce. Reality is they're probably gonna announce David Ayer's Suicide Squad first before anything, because again, that is the easiest thing to release. They can be like, hey, you know what? David Ayer, you want to release this? I mean, of course, David Ayer is going to say yes. They're going to promote it a little bit, say this comes from the creators of Zack Snyder's Justice League, another HBO original, which you can say that with Suicide Squad. So the reality is it's not going to be too much of a complicated thing to release that. The other stuff is going to be far more complicated. They are going to have to look at the finances and all that. They're going to see, they're obviously going to look at the numbers for Zack Snyder's Justice League. They're obviously going to look at those numbers, determine their outcome. I don't think this means Discovery is going to definitively restore the Snyderverse, because there are some narratives out there saying that Discovery will definitively restore it. My thoughts is they're not going to. I still think there's a chance they won't restore it, but I do think there's a far higher chance now than there ever has been, especially that now that they've fired some key players. But yeah, that's my thoughts overall. I don't know what you guys think. To me personally, I think this is what's going to happen. I think what's going to happen is they're going to take their time, and I think when the Ayer cut gets released, I think that's going to be a major sign of, the Zack Snyder universe is going to be restored. I think that's going to be because I don't think Warner Bros. Just wants to, not Warner Bros. Discovery just wants to completely go out about it real quick. And again, they're dealing with a major merger. This ain't something simple. This is major. This is something that's expensive, that's going to take time, which is why I'm not even discussing the merger itself. I'm discussing more of this part of the merger, which is the part that I care most about, which is, will the Snyderverse be restored? What are you going to do with DC films? I don't know. I can guarantee you this, though. They ain't doing Matrix 5. They ain't doing Matrix 5. I think they know Matrix is dead. And this is coming from somebody who loves that first original Matrix movie. I don't like the sequels, but it is what it is. But thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.